When my memory remembers something, I have to point it out.
I guess we can call this meeting to order. The primary business tonight is a special meeting of the board to elect officers for next year, which was established by our new bylaws. But before we do that, I want to welcome our new board members. We have Brian Aiken, who's just been appointed, representing Dacusville. Mark Kilburn, right here, is our at-large representative. I want to congratulate the reappointment of Danny Parton for another four-year term. And we, recognize those that are returning beginning their third-year term. Nancy Miller, representing 6 Miles Central, and Alicia Pinkerton, who is representing Liberty. And myself, who represents, I forgot.
Representing you.
Yeah. Okay. So there, as I said, there are only 2 agenda items tonight. The first one's to nominate and elect officers to the board. And then the second one, and we'll get to this in a minute, any concerns about this, but to select committee members to our standing committees and one of our ad hoc committees that we always have. So the nomination and election will take place according to the amended bylaws. We amended the bylaws at the last regular meeting of the board, and it calls for this special meeting, so the officers will be in place for the first regular meeting, which is January
15th. Next Thursday.
Next Thursday, yeah. So if you're elected to an officer's position, you're gonna have to hustle to get ready. You got 1 week, but at least you have a week. The procedures states that nominations may be made by any board member, and this includes self-nominations, because if you're a board member, you can nominate yourself. Nominations with subsequent elections will be conducted sequentially in the following order: chairman, vice chairman, secretary, and treasurer. A board member may be nominated for more than one office, and one of the reasons for the sequential elections was to allow in some measure, for a board member who is not elected to one office to run for a subsequent office. Now, it isn't perfect, because you can't go back and decide you want to be the chairman after you've passed that up, but nonetheless, at least it gives you an opportunity to move from higher to lower in that regard. What I'd like to just take 1 minute to review the roles of each of these officers. They're not defined in our bylaws, and they're mostly have come about through best practices by the board, and also there are some comments in the South Carolina State Library Reference Manual for Public Library Trustees, which you either have, the old board members have them, but I don't know if you guys have got, did you get?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so you got those, good, that's great. So the chair, with the director, plans the agenda and overall makes certain that the board meets required deadlines and goals set by the board. They run and facilitate the meetings, making sure all sides of an issue are heard, and bring the board to action, promoting teamwork, including following the trustees' code of ethics and Robert's Rules of Order. They appoint, with the board consent, committees, which we're due tonight, if all goes well, making sure responsibilities are clear. And we'll come back to that in a minute. And just as a note, the chair is an ex officio member of each committee, according at least to the bylaws. And just as a note, with respect to duties, at the next meeting, the chair is going to be called on to sign the collection development certification so the library can receive the second increment of state aid. The vice chair serves as a backup to the chair and should be prepared to take over the duties of the chair in the chair's absence. Serves on the executive committee and may be given special assignments because of that august position. The secretary is the primary reviewer of the clerk's minutes, is responsible for taking minutes during executive sessions, and serves on the executive committee. The treasurer should be fully appraised of the content of the monthly budget report, may want to interact with the director on that in advance, and should be prepared to serve as a liaison with county officials that manage budgets, and serves on the executive committee and is, I don't know that it's required to be chair of the finance committee, but that would certainly make sense to be chair of that. So, having said that, all that, we'll call for nominations for the officers in order, and be sure that the nominated candidate really wants to do it. You know, that's obvious in a self-nomination, I guess. And then we can ask if the nominees or the nominators want to say anything additional about the candidate. So we can start with that. And the first one, of course, will be for the chair's position. So we call for nominations for the chair's position.
I nominate Danny Parton.
Okay. Well, I'll nominate myself, which I guess is allowed. Danny, do you want to make any comments?
Well, yeah, if the board, deems that and would like for me to serve as chair, I would be glad to serve.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Anything else? Okay. As I said, I nominate myself, and just as a few comments, I've served as treasurer and vice chair. I played an active role in creating revisions to the materials policy, the reconsideration request policy, and the new youth application form, and amendments to the bylaws. I think I've been diligent in reading all the books under reconsideration and replying to reconsideration requests. I've interacted with the state librarian and county council members on several occasions over policies and budgets. So without further ado, those in favor of Danny being the chair, please raise your hand. You can vote for yourself, Danny. You don't have to. Well, it's sort of a moot point, but I'll raise my hand for half-wheeler. Okay. So that would be 5-1. So having said that, we can move to the vice chair. Do we have nominations for the position of vice chair?
I nominate Lisa Pinkerton for vice chair.
Okay. Any others? I'll nominate myself, but I will not repeat my candidate speech. So, all in favor of Alicia? Okay. I'll vote for myself, just so that it doesn't look ridiculous. Okay? All right. Secretary, nominations for the position of secretary.
I nominate Nancy Miller.
Okay, Nancy?
I'll accept that.
I'll once again nominate myself, just to keep the things going. And I won't repeat my nomination speech again, as I said. All those in favor of Nancy, please raise your hand. Okay. Those in favor of me, I'll raise my hand. Okay.
Got it.
And finally, treasurer, nominations for the position of treasurer.
I nominate Mark Kilburn.
Mark, okay. I'll nominate myself. I won't repeat my speech. All those in favor of Mark for treasurer? Okay, yes, oh, congratulations on that. Oh, well, I'll vote for myself, okay. So, clean sweep, okay, that was pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Yeah. The appointment of committees theoretically is done by the chair with board approval. And I suppose as acting chair for this position, I can proceed unless there are objections to that. The reason is,
Typically, the chair, once voted upon, becomes the chair for this new year. So I think the new chair, because he's going to be making the selection of the committee members.
Right.
And so,
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and that's fine, Danny. The thing is that we're really basically going to call for volunteers, because that's the way we've done it in the past.
yeah, but I'm the chair now, I would like to
Sure,
select the
you can-
committee, yes.
I don't see does anybody have an objection to Danny moving ahead with this? Okay, there you go.
All
He gets a
right,
gavel?
Fran.
Just don't hit me.
Okay, yeah.
All right. But before you do, Dan, do you mind, I have a few notes on the committee.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll
please.
go ahead and,
Yeah.
I can go ahead and do that. The bylaws call for 3 standing committees. The executive committee, which we don't have to take action on because it's made up of the officers of the board. So that doesn't require any. There's one called Planning and Finance. We have referred to that as Budget and Finance in the past primarily, which has been typically involved in performing the initial review of the annual budget proposed by the director and meeting with representatives to present county representatives to present the budget. Also, this board can make recommendations when financial exigencies arise. The third standing committee is policy and public awareness, and of course, we haven't had one of those really in the past. So this committee has not, since it has been established, we aren't really sure what its operation should be, but I suggest, we've talked about the need for hiring a public interface employee, which has not been approved by the county council recently. But this committee could sort of serve in those capacities to solicit public input, provide ways to better communicate, and in this role, I imagine working with the PR staff through the director on that. And then we have a committee which is not in the bylaws, but has been functioning over the last several years, and that's the Ad hoc Buildings and Grounds Committee that's evaluated issues related to projects, including the renovation of the Easley facility, so that's been actually a pretty active committee. So, having said that, then you take over.
All right, thank you, Hap. And Hap, I do want to say, thank you for how you have served, your attitude, just like tonight, it's good, and I appreciate that, and thank
Well,
you
thank
for
you,
your
Danny.
service.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank
I
you for
appreciate
your-
that.
Yes, sir.
It's very
Thank you
nice.
for your service. Well, what I would like to do as we look at section 3, selection of committees, and I'll speak, but I'm going to do if you don't mind, I want to move to amend the agenda and to remove item 3B and replace it with policy and procedures. And I know that's a going committee because that's one I've been on since about 4 years. But with I'll speak to that, but I'm making a motion, so is there a second?
Second.
To amend this, okay? All right, and I'll speak to it before we vote.
Discussion.
And the motion, I'm sorry, Danny.
The motion is to amend the agenda
Yeah,
to remove item number 3B,
okay.
which is the Building Grounds Committee,
Sure.
and replace it with policies and procedures. Is what I would like to have that particular committee. It runs in line with the 2 committees that is on the, in our bylaws and procedures, so that's why I like to see those 2. Speaking to that is that since county has took this over, we can, soon, we can have a buildings ground that can communicate with the county on the wings and completing that. We can work with them, that committee will, and so we can do that. But I think the need at the moment would be budget, finance for sure, but policies. We've got policies, things we just need to take and look at and move forward in that light. And so that's the reason I made the motion to, remove this and replace it with policies and procedures.
You're removing budget finance?
No.
No,
Or you're
Budget.
removing buildings?
Buildings and grounds.
Okay,
Buildings and
because we do have a meeting this month with county about the budget,
Okay.
so I just wanted to make sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll make sure. And I'm already on that one, so as I'm ex officio, we'll work with them in that light. And we will have a new board member coming on, so, who knows when, but it could be soon. And so we'll have maybe a little extra help in that light.
so is your motion to eliminate that committee, or just?
No, just to remove it from the agenda.
Just move it from the agenda?
Removing it from the
All right.
agenda. We're not eliminating the committee.
Okay.
Thank you for that
Yeah.
clarification.
No, and, Danny, one of the things that I discovered when I actually read the bylaws, was that the official name of what we call budget and finance is planning and finance.
Yeah.
So it seems to me that committee should start functioning in that regard. Of course, every time you have
Yeah.
a budget item, you're planning naturally, but it seems like they'd be more engaged with planning and finance.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I don't have any objection to
And we
waiting.
talked several times about strategic planning, which goes hand in hand with budget, and that's why that's
Yeah.
committees like
Oh,
that.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And absolutely, that should be part of Budget Finance Committee.
Yeah, it should be,
Yeah,
yeah.
goes right along with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Discussion, is there any other discussions?
Do you want to change the name of the Budget Finance Committee to Planning and Finance?
That's just the informal name. The official name is, in the bylaws, is
The
planning.
official name is
Planning
planning.
and- planning and finance.
We've always just
Okay.
called it budget.
Okay, so
We should clean this up.
Oh, all right, any other discussion?
In Article 5, it says that the name of the committee is Policy and Public Awareness, but you want Policy and Procedures?
Yes,
Policy and Procedures?
yes.
That would require a bylaws amendment, which needs 2 weeks for approval. So if you want to change the name to that, we couldn't do it at the January meeting, but you could call a special meeting after. You just need 2 weeks to review changes to the bylaws, if you want to change that title. You can, it's just a bylaws change, so that requires a different procedure.
Buildings and Grounds is an ad hoc committee, so,
I got you.
and the chairman can call for an ad hoc committee anytime they want.
I mean, you can keep
Or
it,
you could just keep it policy.
you
and
keep it
make
policy and
being the
procedures as
committee.
part of the
Yes.
policy.
So you could just keep it policy.
I mean, there's no need to change the bylaws,
I agree.
No,
so just
No,
change
if you-
what you call it, I guess.
okay. So let me make that,
Well, and because we've been calling it budget, and it's actually planning and financing. So this is, we've been calling it budget, but we've known it's planning and financing.
It's just
Just like
functions.
this policy is
The
going to be
function hasn't
policy.
changed.
Yeah, the function of it's the same, so this does not need to be messed with.
okay,
Just different boards over time have referred to it in different ways.
okay. So what we're looking at is buildings and ground. We looking to remove that from the agenda.
Got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so we're in discussion. And so, is there any reason we cannot remove that, revisit this at a later time? I don't see any reason for that. And us replace this with, what is it you want to call it officially?
Just call it
What is
policy
it
committee.
already?
Just call it policy committee.
Okay. Well, what's the planning policy?
It's
No,
policy
What
and
is it
public
already in the
awareness.
bylaws?
It's policy and public in the bylaws, so if you
And
just say,
Public Awareness.
but you don't need to say all that, just
Policy
say
and public
policy
awareness.
committee.
Okay. And we know what that is.
Yeah.
And we're theoretically required to have that committee. I mean,
Oh, yes,
yeah, but
yes.
It's just
Okay, so, any more discussion? We're fixing to bring it to a vote. Okay, so the motion was this, is that we, on the agenda, we remove item number 3B and replace it with policy commitment. So, all in favor of that, raise your hands. Okay. Any opposed, like sign? Any, okay. So, the motion carries, and it's 5-1. Carries. All right, I think that's covered the business here for our agenda tonight. And so, along with Hap welcoming our new
so we're not.
board members.
You have to
Are we gonna
select the
put people
committee.
on the committees?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, let's do that. Thank you. Let me get back to my notes here. Thank you. All right. On the budget committee, I would like to select Hap Wheeler, Mark Kilborn, and Elisa Pinkerton, and Mark as chairman. That's my selection. Okay. Y'all get that? Okay. Policy Committee, Brian Aiken, Nancy Miller, and Elisa Pinkerton, and she being the chair of that policy committee.
And that's the policy and public awareness, right? That-
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just a-
Elisa.
Elisa.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I think you need to vote on,
Is that good?
Yep, got
I
it.
think you need to vote
We got
to
it.
officially,
Oh, do we need, or
Is that not
he
in
can
the-
appoint them as the
He can
chair.
appoint.
Yeah, I'm a,
Hap said that you appoint and
Well,
then.
with board
and then the
approval,
bo-
I mean,
board
we-
approves.
but it's,
I think the bylaws say that you
Yeah.
can appoint.
yeah.
He can
Yeah,
just
he
We've,
appoint
we've
them.
done it differently in the past, people
Yeah.
volunteer, but you can
yeah, I
appoint.
think you use
Does it say with
selection
board
or
approval, or-
appointment, so you
Oh, I
select.
don't know.
No, just appointed.
Anybody,
It doesn't
Appointed.
say,
Just appointed.
it does, yeah, it just
Okay.
appoints.
Let me just read the bylaws. Everybody just sit here while I read the bylaws
Thank you, Hap.
to myself.
Read it out loud.
Committees will be appointed by the board chairman, who shall name one member of each committee as chairman. Yep, okay.
yeah, that's fine.
You just did it. Okay, all right. There, I read the bylaws.
Okay.
Good job, Hap, good job.
All right. Well, just to remind you, next week, our regular scheduled board meeting, and that'll be at Easley at Hampton. Looking forward to that. And so, anything, let me just mention this to our new board members, but I think Elisa, Nancy, and Hap know that anything you would like that you sense we needs to go onto the agenda, okay? Get it to me, okay? You can email that to me, the chairman here. And, or Elisa, she's vice chair. So we'll make sure, we'll try to get that on as we can. And, once that process takes place, then, we move forward. That's for the board, okay? That's for the board. All right, any questions? Any comments? Okay. All right, well, thank you all so much. Do I have a motion? Yes.
Oh, I move we adjourn.
There you go, that's what I was thinking.
I'll second that.
Okay, a second, all in
Second.
I'll second
favor,
it.
raise your hand.